Okay, so since we're all here, do you guys want to just kind of start by like introducing your characters, like so everybody knows who's playing what?
So what are we doing? We're
Um,
introducing characters.
well, yeah, just so everybody knows who's playing what and kind of an idea, like name, character, that kind
Are we doing? Are we RPing it, or are we just
Oh no, no,
letting
no,
them
you don't
just?
gotta repeat it. No, we know who we're playing.
All right. Well, I'm playing a juicer. Doc will be the character.
Doc the Juicer, all right.
We've got Kyle, the Lineline Walker.
Kyle, all right, cool,
And I'm playing Felix, who's a robot power armor pilot.
nice, perfect. So that's a pretty solid squad actually. So yeah, so before we get started, the only real rule I've gotten, I think I mentioned it already, is just kind of like obviously it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm bound to make mistakes, bound to say stuff that's wrong or screw something up, like screw a rule up or something like that. So when I do make a mistake or if I say something that it's wrong or you don't agree with or whatever, totally make a note of it. Let me know, but let me know like after the session. I just prefer to avoid that sort of thing in the middle of things. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of weird and awkward. So we'll kind of keep that stuff to the side of the session. Like obviously just kind of let it slide, let it go. If I make a mistake, just don't worry about it. We'll fix it after the session. Just let me know after, kind of thing. So that's really the only thing I have. Is that fair? Is that cool? Or
Yeah, that's good.
just to avoid like a massive
Yep.
20-minute stoppage where we discuss rules in the middle of the game, just that sort of thing. So that if I make a bad call,
You don't want me to go. Actually, in canon.
yeah, yeah. If your sentence begins with actually, just don't say it. Pretty much, just write it down, and definitely, like, I definitely want to hear the objection. Like, I definitely want to talk about it and solve it and get it right. Just not in the middle of the session. So if I say something like, "Oh yeah, like, well, everybody knows that all CS soldiers have giant rabbit ears," right? Obviously, that's wrong. But we'll talk about that as wrong after the session. Do you know what I mean? So if it's a call is a call in the middle of the game, just so it moves forward smoothly without any awkward, weird, cringy
I just
conversations.
I want you to know that if you want to make that universe modification, I'm all right with it because the entire campaign I'll be like, it's Wabbit season.
Ah, hell, hey, I like it. I like it. That could be the name of a whole new campaign, Rabbit Season. Anyway, yeah, that's awesome. But for now, we'll keep the coalition with their black visors with no rabbit ears. Um, all right.
I don't know if I play this campaign anymore.
Okay, well, let's make a small adjustment before we start. They've all got rabbit ears. And it sets them out from the crowd, so you're +2 to strike them. Okay. So, yeah, so as you guys know, we're going to start in the town of Bastion, obviously, and we'll take you guys over there now. Kind of see if you haven't already. So, this is Bastion. Now, depending on how you guys met, like I said, I think I'm going to let you guys sort of decide that, like whether you met on the road or whether you just met here in the town or, whatever your history together is. I figured I'd kind of let that evolve like more organically that way. Because I mean, you guys as players, as far as I know, don't know each other, right? So your characters, in a way, if they didn't know each other and just kind of met through this whole thing, would kind of make it a little more organic. If that makes any sense?
Well, I mean, I don't know if anyone else has any objections, but I'm always big on the it started in a bar.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
So,
Okay.
That does work.
so if that's good with everyone, then I would say my character would be at the local watering. And
Yeah, no worries. Okay, yeah, Joe's Tavern it is. So you guys met at Joe's Tavern supposedly, and okay, so here's the basic hook here. So you heard that the Bastion Guard, which is the little local militia, they're looking for help because they're quite strapped on their manpower at the moment. And so you've heard rumors they're looking for help and they're willing to pay quite a bit of money. So apparently there's a huge a huge contract basically for any capable adventurers or whoever fighting merc companies or whatever. Anybody who's really willing to give them a hand. So they're offering 50,000 to any group who can help them with a issue or a situation. It's not disclosed in the actual ad or whatever. Like people don't really know what the specifics are. They haven't said, but there's a rumor going around that they're looking to pay a lot of money. So you guys have. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted 50K for a Merc contract. Is there a time on it?
You don't know. You don't know any specifics just yet. So you've heard about this, and so you guys have all. I guess if you met at the bar, maybe you decided as a group, or maybe you decided individually to pursue this and through this contract you met or whatever. But yeah, if you met at the bar, you probably decided as a group, hey, let's check this out. So the rumor was you wanted to track down the Bastion's head of security, and he'll give you the details of the contract. But apparently, it is a little bit time sensitive, so I guess we can kind of start things if you guys want to go to the security office, kind of thing, and things can kind of start from there, and he'll give you the lowdown.
Yeah, why don't you just narrate us in and let us know when it's time to roleplay, if that's good with everyone else here.
Yeah, it's good with me. If that works for you guys.
50K for a merc contract. My character would be interested. If you guys would too, that's a good enough as reason any minute. Let's do it.
All right, so you go to the security office or whatever, and you end up in this little kind of foyer, and you hear on the sort of intercom, "Hey guys, thanks for coming. I'll be right out in a second." Some guy's voice. So after a couple minutes, this guy comes out, a young guy, kind of blondish hair, average build or whatever. He's like, and he kind of looks you guys over. He's like, "Thanks for coming. I appreciate it." He's like, "I'm Connor. I'm head of security here at Bastion. If you want to step into my office real quick, we'll talk business." So he leads you into his office. You presumably go in, and as you get in there, there's another guy sitting at the table, and he's got long hair. He's got like the handlebar mustache. Looks like kind of like a biker. He's kind of got the look too. He's kind of got that operator look about him. He's got the typical kind of, operator garb. And he's sitting there at the table, or at by the guy's desk in a chair. And he looks really, really, really distraught. Like, he's really upset about something. You can, like, his face is flushed and red, and he's really, really upset. And so you guys all take a seat, and he's like, I don't know if you guys have met Tom Lars before. He's our town operator. You guys introduce yourselves or whatever, I guess. So this is Tom, and so basically here's the situation. So in our sorry if I'm kind of like rambling a bit, guys. I'm a little bit of the jitters at the moment, but anyhow. So basically, what's going on is one of the convoys that we send back and forth to the town of Fort North, which is just to the south of us. We send these convoys regularly, once every few weeks. And Bastion is, of course, a farming town. Sorry, and we trade with Fort North for their ore and their mega damage materials. So one of our convoys went missing. They were due back the other day, and they never showed up. So we're looking for people who can go look into what happened and hopefully track down the convoy, or at very least figure out, their fate or what happened to them, or whatever. So we're offering this reward of 50,000 credits to any group who can basically tell us, like, either bring them back or tell us what happened to them and figure out what's going on. So basically,
is this 50,000 per person or 50,000 total?
That's 50,000 total, and he says, and there's a little bit more, but we'll get to that. So basically, they're looking for help to track this down, and it's 50K for the information, basically, whether you bring them back or, if you just, okay, this is what happened to them, or whatever. And he says, Tom here, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I just thought you were done.
Okay. Sorry. And he says, Tom here is willing to put up an extra 10,000 of his own money for reasons. And he says, he goes, and this guy, Tom Lars, he's having a hard time speaking. He's really upset. He's like, yeah, it was a convoy, but he's like, and he's kind of stuttering. He's like, my daughter was with them. So I'd really appreciate it if you could find her and bring her back. So he tells you about his daughter. Her name is Verlaine, and she's really young, and she was with the convoy. And obviously he's just freaked out, and he just wants to basically get his daughter back. So he's putting up this extra money to incentivize, people to take on his contract. So at this point, do you guys have any questions for anybody, or?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Okay.
Did the convoy have a security detail with it?
It did not. What ended up happening with that was they couldn't find any merc companies like you guys to accompany them. Normally they have a security detail, but they really wanted to make this trade run, and there's deadlines, and there's like, just fuck it, let's just do it. And they got caught out apparently, or maybe they did. But yeah, normally they would have, but this case they didn't.
Okay.
Can we get a clear description of Verlaine, aside from just the fact that she's very young?
Yep.
I was going to ask if they had a picture.
Actually, yeah. He describes her. She's 25. She's average build. She has purple hair, because of course she does. Let's see if I can find a picture of her. Actually, yeah, I have a picture of her right here. Not sure how well this is going to work. Roll 20, but we'll try. I don't know if you can guys see that. I just put a picture on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's huge.
Yeah, so she is 700 feet. No, yeah, so that's basically what she looks like right there. He had an old
So
picture
she's
of
the
her.
size of half the town.
Correct. So she should be very simple to find. Just look over the tree line. You should see her anywhere. So yeah, that's basically what she looks like. And she was traveling, like I said, with the convoy. So, and then Connor continues. He says, so the convoy was on a system of checkpoints and checking in because obviously the wilderness is an extremely dangerous place. So the idea was they were going to check in when they left Fort North, and they were going to check in every third of the way. So Fort North is 60 kilometers to the south, and they made their first checkpoint, but they didn't make their second check.
Is this usually like an all-day run and you get there in about a day?
Well, the road is windy, and it goes through a forest, and it's poorly maintained. It's more a gravel piece of crap, unmaintained road than anything. So travel is a bit slow. So yeah, it's you can be, if you're going at speeds that are appropriate to carrying lots of cargo, yeah, you could be a few hours navigating that. Now, depending on your vehicle, like I said, it might be quick, but it can take a while. Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any local threats to the area?
Any local threats? Nothing really. Like, relations with the Fort North town is quite good. They're trading partners. You mean just like the wilderness in general, or
Yeah, any Zikti sightings, vampires, ley lines we should know about?
not in that area? To the northwest of Bastion, as close as 100 kilometers away. That was, I mean, they do have Ziddic sightings, sometimes a little bit closer, but to the south, not usually.
Okay. Any bandit companies of note in the area that are known to operate?
None by name, no regulars, but yes, bandit activity is known to be on this road because it's kind of a known trade route, right? So it is a hot spot for that sort of thing, and that's why they normally have security details. So yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
Okay. Judging from the town itself and the guards, are they generally pretty well armed, uniforms, that type of thing, or is it kind of ragtag, pish posh? I'm just trying to figure out, like, I guess the equipment level of the general security that they would send with this kind of thing if it were available.
It's more of a ragtag thing. Like, they do have access to mega damage gear, but it's not like high end awesome stuff. Like the guard of the town is poorly equipped for town lore reasons. I have a history of Bastion, like a very brief history of Bastion written up, but I didn't want to bomb you guys with that without asking for it. So I want to bore you with that. But yeah, for lore reasons, they're not super well equipped, but they have basic low level mega damage crap. But yeah, it's more of a ragtag thing. They don't really have any official uniform yet.
So, just from Felix's perspective, because he probably would have sort of evaluated this, how well? I'm guessing he finds them. I'm guessing they're not very well trained either.
Not overly. They have some basic training, like just basic military kind of stuff. But yeah, no hardcore specialized training. It's more of a militia than an organized force. You know what I mean? Like they have a structure to them, but yeah, they're certainly not elite soldiers by any stretch.
All right. Well, if everyone here sounds pretty, straight cut to me, let's take a trip south, fan out, look for the convoy, see if we can find this girl, and get our money by dinner time.
Be home in time for cornflakes. Perfect. All right. Yeah. Okay. You can do that. So you guys all have, unless I've mistaken your gear, you guys all pretty much have the same hover cycle, the Speedster. If I'm not
I was gonna ask about
mistaken. Yeah. I think I mean I could be mistaken, but I feel like I gave all you guys the Speedster cycle. I don't.
I don't think I do.
Oh, actually, yeah, you wouldn't. Sorry, my bad. Power armor. So you probably wouldn't have it. But yeah, I think the other two guys should question mark have that.
I don't see it on the character sheet.
Really, you're playing a. Now I just feel stupid.
Well, if it's not, could I ask if I can get the standard juicer jump bike?
Sure. I'm not familiar with that, but yeah. I mean,
let me find it in the Ultimate book, and I'll give you a page on the PDF. But
well, I guess for now, basically, cruising speed, altitude kind of thing.
It's basically, I think it's a hover cycle. It just goes a little bit quicker than the standard. You know how juicers live for the thrills. It's basically like a hot hover.
Okay.
Light MDC, and I think it has a tiny laser on the front, like a little laser.
Right.
1d6.
Okay.
But other than that, I think that's about it. I'll try and find it.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, you have a vehicle, and that's the main thing. You guys should all be spec'd out. And your power armor, Felix, I can't remember the exact speed. That's obviously not as fast as a hover cycle, but it still go pretty quick. Granted, it will tire you out to do so, but you can run pretty darn fast if I remember right.
Yeah, I'll take the Samson and be able, and with that it has a run speed of 240 kilometers per hour.
Now that's top speed, right? That's full tilt. Now you can certainly do that for a while, but it'll tire you out. But yeah, that's certainly cool. I forgot to mention. Sorry, it's late spring. It's May 20th, 1:10 PA, and it's 11 a.m. in the morning. There you go. So this is a year after the Siege of Tolkien. Sorry I didn't mention this before because I'm stupid. And then the other demon stuff we're just gonna kind of sidestep because we don't want none of that. But yeah, sorry. There's your setting. Yeah. All right. So if you guys want to do that, you can. So are you guys gonna travel in a group along the road? Are you gonna fan out through the forest, or what are you thinking? I guess I'll bring us over to the world map.
I would suggest we stay along the road, but if it fans out to like a plain or something like that, or if it looks like they're cut in or places where there might be a possible ambush, we slow it up and kind of search around.
Okay, fair enough.
And keep it thorough would be my priority.
Okay. What kind of speeds are you guys thinking of traveling at in general? Like, you going more or less cruising speed, or you going full tilt?
Personally, I'd want to keep my eyes on a swivel, so I'd be staying probably about 30, something like that, 30 miles an hour.
Perfect. Good. I'll apologize in advance for that too. I'm on kilometers because of Canadianness. So
what's that work out to? Like, I think that's 40 kilometers an hour.
Something like that. A mile is 1,600. Is 1.6 kilometers. So I mean, math on the spot. Yeah, no. But Fort North is about 60 clicks, whatever south. But yeah. So if you're going,
okay, well, I'm not going to look up the conversion table.
40 is close enough. Yeah.
Then I'm going. 48. Then I'm.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah, so 3 miles per hour is 48 kilometers, and Felix will probably prefer to do that too because he's in power armor, so he probably doesn't want to run full tilt.
Yeah, exactly right. And also, I haven't been able to find any rules specific to this thing. But for now, just a really, really quick house rule when it comes to like riding on vehicles and stuff. And again, something we can correct later if it's a thing, if you guys happen to know it or whatever. But cruising speed, no worries. But on vehicles that are, like flying or whatever, like hover cycles, I'm thinking at full tilt, a skill check every 20, 30 clicks to see if you maintain control of the vehicle. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how that normally it's done, but that's kind of what I'm envisioning in my head, kind of
I
thing.
think it's usually GM's discretion, depending on the terrain. Like if we're in thick woods and I say I'm going to try and go, 100 clicks,
Yeah.
I'm going to run into a tree. We're going to see some Star Wars.
Return of the
style.
Jedi action. That's right. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, as long as you kind of get that idea, like you can floor it, but there's going to be a risk involved. Anyway, okay, cool. All right, so if you guys are going roughly 40 clicks along the road, you just kind of staying more or less together and whatnot.
I would assume we're doing the same thing. So
Perfect.
I'd have my head on a swivel, looking for signs of an ambush, broken trees, laser fire, explosive, a blown up truck.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I think I'm specifically trying to find the point on this road where the convoy would have deviated from it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. If it was hit where it was hit, or if there's a road where it turned off, perhaps, then maybe that would be worth looking at.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, so you guys proceed down this road, hovering away and running away. Down the road, it's a very windy road. It winds through a fairly dense forest, back and forth, back and forth. After about an hour of doing this, you do come to a sharp bend in the road. So you're probably a good, well, you're going 40, so yeah, you're about 40 clicks outside of Bastion, so about an hour. You come to a sharp bend in the road, and you notice something smoking up just around the bend on the kind of in the ditch sort of thing. So as you turn the corner, you notice there's a pair of ATVs in the ditch, and they are shot to hell.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out. What was that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you guys, as you turn the corner, you notice there's a pair of ATVs, like the big boss ATV things. There's a pair of those in the ditch, and they are shot all to hell. They're just messed up.
Okay. I guess I would probably pull up a safe distance and disem.
Okay.
Lock and load my.
Okay. You don't see anybody immediately, but as you approach, you notice there's some bodies strewn about the road and a couple in the ditch. A total of 5 bodies, all male, and they are a couple in the ditch. One of them, like I said, is strewn the road, and some of them are kind of closer to the tree line. There's a smattering of corpses.
So Felix is probably going to be a little probably less cautious than the other two.
Okay.
And try and see if there's anyone who's still and run in to see if there's anyone who's still alive and can be helped.
Okay.
I would approach, but I wouldn't necessarily be running in. I would, have my weapon slung, looking around, making sure there's no immediate threats, and I would first check to see if there's anyone that needs medical attention, and then besides that, check to see if it looks like they had cargo that had been stolen, if it looked like a bandit hit.
Okay. You get closer, and you notice, well, as I said, the ATVs are riddled with bullet holes and scorch marks all over them. So they are out, like they're down for the count. They're completely destroyed. The bodies, as you get closer, you notice they're obviously riddled with bullet holes and similar scorch marks, but also they've got claw marks. Some of the bodies have pretty nasty looking claw marks all through them. So there's that. They did have some of their cargo left over. One of the ATVs, the hatch popped open, and it looks like it was carrying just some ore and some MDC materials and whatnot. But it looks like a lot of that has been removed. And now that you're kind of closer, like how close are you exactly to all like to the actual vehicles that are in the ditch?
I think by this point, if you haven't described anything, I would have walked directly up to the vehicle. I would be within
Okay.
melee of the.
Okay.
I would probably be within melee of the truck, assuming that all the bodies are deceased. There's no one that I can help. Then the next part would be checking the trucks to see, like, okay, it looks like they've been hit.
Okay.
Trying to ascertain the firepower that hit them, if it looked like it was like laser rifles or was it rail guns, was it explosive damage. I would be trying to ascertain what kind of firepower took these things down.
Okay. It looks like a lot of small arms fire, like laser rifles and that sort of thing, and large scorch marks and that sort of thing. So yeah, a lot of burn marks, scorch marks, and some smaller laser fire. No
So
claw marks.
mainly laser and plasma weapons, probably.
That's what it's looking like. And
Okay.
well, mostly, but the scorch marks are large. They're quite large. So I guess when I say large, I mean you're looking at a scorch mark maybe the size of a dinner plate. That's
Okay,
that's
so
what I
that's
think.
like vehicle to vehicle fire.
Could be, yeah. And how about Felix and Kyle? Was it? Where you guys at right now?
Sorry, guys, I didn't know I was mute. I would also be checking and seeing how the magic around the area is.
Okay, yeah.
Is magic used in the area? Is it close by? Is there a ley line nearby?
Let's
Is it 10
check.
miles?
Well, you guys actually crossed the ley line. Get to where you're at. I don't know if you. Yeah, you should. You guys can see me doing the arrow thing, right, on roll 20. Or
I
can't
wasn't
you?
looking at it.
Oh, okay.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are more or less here. There we go. Kind of a big circle, but yeah, you guys are more or less there. So let's see. So you did actually cross the ley line to get to where you're at. So you're more or less here-ish at this point. There's no ley line nearby. I guess the closest one from your at's be about 20 kilometers away, or I guess 10 if you go that way. But that big ley line there, you cross to get to where you're at. Now you said you were looking at through the vehicles. You don't really find anything of note in the vehicles. You do find a plasma torch, for what that's worth. Beyond that, just the remains of what was their cargo. It looks like some of it has been looted. Now,
Anyone have any weapons left over that would be worth throwing in my pack?
Yeah,
No.
run through the crew and see what they had left, if anything. Were they stripped?
mostly, yeah. Yeah, you don't find anything of note. It looks like they're all stripped of their weapons and whatnot. Their armor is destroyed, so it wouldn't be. Now there are salvage rules in Rifts, but I don't see that it would be really like. Obviously, guns is one thing. No worries. You can salvage armor and that kind of thing. Like if you destroy someone's armor, destroy some completely like mangled or their robot or whatever. There's always salvage, but for the amount
If
of
it's destroyed, you're supposed to have the salvage skill, right?
yeah, I'm not sure, but okay, sure. But I mean, either way, you'd need a proper way to transport it, right? Which you guys don't have.
I was mainly just talking about guns lying around or sidearms, anything like that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like there's no guns. Their guns have been stripped, but yeah, otherwise you could have taken note. Yeah, all you really find is, like I said, a little bit of mega damage stuff and the torch. So go ahead.
So I think I know this. I think I know the answer to this already, but to officially confirm, Verlaine is probably not among the is Verlaine among the bodies?
They were all male.
All the bodies are male, and there's 5 of them. 5 did you? And there was 6 people in the. I can't remember if I gave you that, but I meant to. So if I didn't, I apologize.
So it was six total. 5 guys are in a ditch and on the road, so we're missing the young.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, since you're right in there, you also see tracks leading off into the forest.
I see what heading off into the forest.
Like tracks leading off into the forests, and they don't look. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that was gonna be my next question. Does it look like I see a exit point or an entry point where they might?
Yeah, it doesn't look as subtle as you would expect it would. It's actually kind of clumsy, so there's pretty obvious tracks. I mean, like in real life, if someone walks, around in a forest, like you or I, like I wouldn't necessarily see it, right? But there are clearly tracks, and it looks like more than one person, like clearly a group of individuals made tracks through this forest.
Does it look like there's vehicle like tire marks or tread marks or anything like that, or like power armor foot marks in the mud, like super large feet, something like that?
Nothing like that, just boot marks. Well, boot marks, and I don't know how. Do you have a tracking skill on your thing there, Doc, or 2 points?
Let me check. No, the only skills of note that I have might be wilderness survival. You could make an argument for, or land navigation.
Okay. Okay. Well, no particular tracking skills of note then. So what I can say is you see.
I have tracking, but it's for animals. So I think there's a 20% negative for tracking a human on that.
Okay.
So it's a 10% to actually try to roll. So.
Okay. Well, the lucky part of that is, like I said, these tracks aren't particularly subtle, so it is sort of obvious-ish how, like, what direction they go in. Hey, hey, hey.
Missed it by 4.
Okay, all right. Well, either way, yeah, like I can't give you too many details about the tracks with the skill, of course, but yeah, there does appear to be a path created by a number of feet that you feel that you could probably follow regardless. So the tracks lead off from your path, more or less to an easterly direction. I want to say into this relatively dense forest. So it's up to you how you guys want to proceed into said densely. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I would suggest to the party that we follow the tracks for as long as we can, but not necessarily right on top of them. Maybe fan out, say, 20 feet or so off of the path into the trees, and trying to approach stealth from cover.
Okay. Okay.
I can.
Do you want to leave the bikes, or do you want to actually try to take the bikes to the forest?
Oh God, no! Too much noise. I would say secure them near the wreckage of the trucks. Take your key.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to put too fine a point on this, but I am kind of in a power armor suit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
well,
And,
so then
and for the record, that's Felix saying that.
okay, well then, and I see that, and so perhaps what we do is you stay on the me and Kyle.
And Kyle.
Yeah, we would say we will flank the path, and we'll move up, and we'll keep you in visual. And I assume we all have some form of radio. We can.
Well, I'm not sure.
No, actually.
Can't remember. No? Okay.
No.
We do not have radios.
Y'all do not. Well, I do not. Our radio was not in the inventory.
Okay,
I do
let
have.
me see.
I have a walkie-talkie. So.
You got the radio and the power armor also.
I have an optic helmet, so that's going to have a radio in it. So the power armor can hang back. We'll get on the same frequency, and we'll advance. Me and Kyle can do it with hand signals. And when we get to a point where we've gotten a fair distance up, I'll just give you a buzz and say it. And then you come up and take cover, and we'll just move.
Yes, sir.
That way, well, I'm just saying that way the power armor doesn't give us up. That way, maybe we stand a chance. My logic is sneaking up on these guys and getting the drop on them, because we don't want to get into a Mexican standoff where they've got guns to this girl we're looking for around some campfire. We can get the drop on them, we can gun them down, and get the hell out of here.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, so
Hold on a second.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
So the material and the ore and the amiga damaged things, it looks like they carried them away by hand.
You don't. What you know is that it looks like some are missing. Like they would have normally come back with a relatively full load, and you can see clearly that it's not all there. I mean, it's not full, and you would think that the cargo hold would have been full, but it's not all gone either. So it's kind of like somebody took some.
Yeah, they took what they could, but they obviously didn't have like a big truck to load up the stuff.
Yeah, because that stuff would be pretty heavy, right? So
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Well, plus you said no track marks. We'd see tire marks or tread marks if they had some kind of tracked or tired vehicle, and they didn't.
exactly, no track marks.
So wherever they are, they're within walking distance. Actually, you know what? One question of note is from when we left town to when they last had radio contact with the convoy, about how many hours have passed?
It would have been later in the last day. It would have been, or sorry, till they last had radio contact with them. Yeah, it would have been about a day or so. So they're
Like they would have left. We left town at like 11 a.m. So are we going
right.
to say that it's currently about noon, and the last time they heard from the convoy was 8 a.m.?
They didn't hear from the convoy. Yeah. So the convoy was due back the other day, like yesterday, and they've.
So we're okay.
Yeah. So this has been. Yeah, it wasn't like this morning or anything. But yeah, the convoy was due back the other day. Yeah.
We're a day behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I still think we should possibly move cautiously because they might have camp nearby or something like that. Obviously, they didn't steal everything, so they might be planning on coming.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So if everyone in the party is good with it, let's do it.
Okay. So you guys are gonna leave your bikes by the wreckage then, and
yeah.
Okay.
I would actually pull them off, and I would try and
conceal. Okay.
Conceal it as best as possible.
Yeah, try and pull it into a bush, conceal it, and I have basic electronics. Would I be able to do something similar to, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, I used to drive a scooter way back when, and sometimes I would pull the distributor plug off of it so no one could steal it because it was a Kickstarter. Is there some kind of mechanism I can pull off the motor and pop in my pocket so that it's not, someone can't just come along and
to be honest, I'm not sure, but I don't see why not. I mean, you said you had the skill, right? Like electrical skill?
Well, I have basic electronics.
Okay, so basic electronics, you could just rig something, right? You could just, that looks important. I'll just take that out and put it back.
I don't know the inner workings of a hover cycle, but the equivalent of a distributor cap or a spark plug, just throw it in your pocket.
Sure, why not? Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so I would do that. And hide the hover cycle as best possible, and then.
Okay, I feel like I gave one or two of the characters the camouflage skill, which I think is exactly for that, but I'm not sure if you guys have it or not. But either way, yeah, sure. Okay.
I do not have camouflage.
I do not.
Okay.
I am not going to have it after this session, so I won't pretend that I do.
Okay. All right, so if you guys want to do that, that's cool. So you leave your stuff behind there, and you proceed, I guess, eastward into the forest. So, yeah, the power armor behind, I guess, and the other guys just kind of easing forward. So, basically, you go into the forest, and you march, and you march, and you march, and the tracks, you can still follow them. You probably follow the tracks for, I want to say, a good 4 or 5 hours, and they just keep going. So you're probably like by this point, it's probably 5, 6 o'clock in the evening at this point. So it's still daytime, but you know nighttime's approaching, and the tracks are still going. So it's one hell of a freaking death march we got going here. So it's up to you guys. Want to push on or?
Do we have rations for the night?
Yeah, you guys. I don't think I wrote it in your inventories because I didn't want to necessarily micro that. But yeah, I think the abstraction is you start with about 2 weeks rations each.
Okay, so I guess I would just ask everyone in the party, do you want to try and double time back to the bikes and get back to Bastion and pick this up in the morning, or do you want to break? I'm of the mind we've already been out on the road for 6. Try and get a light rest in, and then maybe continue through some of the evening. Or we could.
Well, we're already a day behind, which means they've got a day on us.
So you want to
Yeah,
just keep.
Maybe getting back to the bikes and seeing if we can slowly creep back up to where we are here. I know that's kind of backtracking and everything, but obviously it keeps going. So
It's up to you guys.
Yeah. Felix is fine with just camping here for the night. At the very least, I don't think we should head all the way back to Bastion. I don't think we should head all the way back to Bastion.
I agree. I don't think going back to the town's worth it.
no, it's not worth it at all.
I'm fine. Even the bike. It's my understanding that this is a pretty thick forest that we're moving.
Yeah, it's relatively thick. Yeah, I mean you wouldn't want to bring. I mean you could bring a bike through here, but you wouldn't be going that much faster than you're going now, right?
Yeah, so I don't really see the benefit to getting the bike, putting the spark plug back on it, and then puttering it back up to where we are now, and then hiding it again to break camp. I'd say we either push on or push till dark and break camp, or have a little light rest now and then push through till late and see if we come up on anything in the cover of darkness. And if not, we break camp for the night around midnight.
It's fine.
Okay, that's cool. Felix, you cool with that?
All right. I'll come out of the power armor just for the light rest.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you kind of have to do that. So how long do you guys want to rest for? It's about six in the evening right now.
When does it get dark?
I believe. Well, here, let me just check. It gets dark at 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's gonna say 8 or 9.
Well, you say it's about 5 or 6 now. I'd say, I don't know, just long enough for our friend in the power armor here to stretch his legs. Everyone have a snack, have a little walk, rest your legs. What's that? A couple hours?
Yeah, a couple hours. So it'd be 8 o'clock p.m. So it's not quite dark yet, but yeah, it's dusk. It's coming.
Yeah, so I'd rest till dusk, move forward into the night under the cover of darkness, and if it gets to be too late or we start to lose the trail, we'll stop again and rest and then move again.
Okay. You guys cool with that? You want to proceed with that?
Sure.
Okay.
So are we getting closer to a lie line?
Let's have a look. There is one a ways to the east based on this map, but you're nowhere near it right now, no. You have a ways to go yet. Okay, well, if you guys want to proceed, that's cool. So you go ahead and you push on into the forest. It's getting dark now. You can hear the usual sounds of the forests, and in Rift's Earth, I can tell you that's 10 times creepier than it normally would be. So you keep going. You can still see the path, because you've got Felix has his Samson armor, and it would have like a light on it, right? And you guys would have flashlights or whatever, and you can still kind of navigate and find the path. So you've had a nice rest. So you're feeling a little bit better. So you managed to push on for another few hours. At this point, it's about 1 in the morning, and it's obviously completely dark, and you're starting to get tired. But the tracks all of a sudden just sort of end. Like you totally lose it. You guys all lose the track, and it just kind of stops at one point. So
Like, I'm confused. They just stop.
they just stop.
I'm
So
gonna look up.
you look up. Okay, so you look up, and okay, so Doc, yeah, Doc. So Doc, you notice something just in front of where the tracks stop, like in front, like just beyond where they stop, like a few feet. The leaves and the branches and the twigs and stuff like that, they look out of place with the rest of the foliage around and stuff. Something doesn't look right. The other two guys, Kyle and Felix, didn't catch this, but Doc noticed it, and yeah, so it's a strange looking section of leaves and things. It looks unusually dense in a spot, just where the path ends.
Does anyone have like detect trap or detect concealment or anything like that?
Can I see if anything shows up on the sensory equipment?
Like your infrared and all that stuff? Nothing shows up on that, no. Your friends show up on thermal. They're quite bright.
Can try one more time. It never hurts to try.
What are we trying?
We track and track animal and trap animals.
Oh, okay.
I was going to give it a try again, but
Fair enough. Worth a shot. Anybody else?
I don't have any skills for this, but I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. So I would turn off any lights that I'm emitting. I guess suggest everyone do the same.
Okay.
yeah, already done.
And then ready my weapon and move towards the bushes that look out of place.
Okay.
I would try and creep like hell. Let me see if I do have prowl. I'd like to.
Okay, go ahead.
2.
Oh, that's hard.
Nice. Nice. Okay, you sneak so sneakily that the friggin' crickets didn't hear you coming. So you're sneaking up to this bizarre thing or whatever, this bizarre patch. So yeah, that was stealth beyond stealth. So you sneak up to it, and now that you're right and close to it, there's a little bit of a bump under some of the leaves. It looks like.
I'm ascertaining probably some kind of hatch.
Possibly.
I guess I would relay that information to the party and say, do you guys want to breach, or do you want to set up a perimeter and try and wait to see what comes out of the hole?
I mean, the longer we wait, the less likely we'll find Verlaine alive.
Agreed.
Okay. Kyle?
Whatever you guys want to do, it's easy. If you want to wait it out, that's fine. We're kind of at a disadvantage here in the dark, though. Inside might be lighted. We might have a better advantage, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm getting a sense of we got you guys want to breach, it sounds like, so I would be okay with that. I was asking for your input. Sounds like both of you are of the opinion that we breach.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hey,
Aye.
Okay.
I would try and find the hatch.
All right, you reach your arm forward, clink. Feel, sure enough, a little, well, little. It's a good size metal half ring, and it's obviously a handle for a hatch. So I guess you go ahead and open it.
Yeah, as slowly and quietly as humanly possible. Well, fuck. I don't. Let me see. Let me run something by you. I don't have detect trap, but I do have demolitions disposal
Okay.
and basic electronics. I think before I actually open it, I would like to try and feel around the door or hatch and see if I can figure if it's rigged or booby trapped. And I'll go unskilled, but if you let me try and kind of reverse engineer demolitions disposal, I guess that'd be the skill I'd be trying to go for.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fair. Go ahead.
Okay, am I taking a penalty on that, or am I rolling with my full?
Take like a 10% penalty because I mean, you're right on top of the thing, and you're extraordinarily suspicious about what it might be, anyways. So yeah, take like a 10% penalty here. Go ahead.
That's a hard pass.
Jeez. Man, you're like a freaking rock star. Okay. So, you feel around and you don't seem to feel anything particularly bizarre. You feel wooden planks that seems to be attached to this handle. You kind of feel around the different edges. You feel the hinges. As far as you can tell, it's clean. You don't feel any booby traps.
Excellent. Juicers have enhanced hearing.
Well, I do. They must. You have a +2 to perception.
Okay.
Which is what?
So I guess.
Yeah, go ahead. So you must.
Opening it with my ear close to the door, like listening as keen as I can, trying to be as quiet as possible for anything that might be going on.
Okay. As you open the hatch, your ear right close, you hear dead silence. Nothing.
All right, I'd motion everyone up and swing the door wide and train my weapon dead center down the hallway from the side of the door and look down. What do I see?
Okay, your weapon. What are you using, the J11 or the J20 or the L20 or what's your weapon, right?
Well, I have two. So I have a sniper rifle. I have a laser pistol, grenade launcher. But this is a breach activity. I'm thinking I would be using the plasma heavy cannon.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you swing open the hatch and there's not a lot of light around, so you really just see a black hole. You can't really see into it. Now, are you shining your flashlight in there, or you just point your gun?
Well, we got a gentleman in a power armor right behind me. I assume he has spotlights.
Okay. Is that something you want to do, Felix?
So I'd say, what do you see?
Okay. So I don't.
Can I try sensory equipment before I put the spotlight on now that the hatch is open?
If you want to, go ahead. Yeah. So you use your sensory equipment and you don't sense anything. Nothing on thermal. Nothing particular. Nothing's moving. Nothing like that.
Well, I don't sense anything below, and let's see what's down there, and I'll hit the lights.
Okay. So you turn your floodlights on, which illuminates the area quite bright. What you see is a set of steps leading down, probably about, I want to say, 10 feet. The opening is pretty big. It's a pretty big hatch. But the steps leading down, yeah, they go about 10 feet or so, and they end about, I'm going to say, 8-ish feet in front of what looks like a door a door underground on a kind of why am I at a loss for words? A door underground on a kind of a dirt face wall type thing.
Okay. Down a staircase to another door, basically.
Exactly, but this door is like a normal door. It's not a trap door. It's like a vertical door.
Is the opening we're at and the hallway going down big enough for the power armor to get into?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.